So if there is a corporation that wants to bring their group down there, how do they get a hold of you? What's the easiest way?
You can either call us at 415-905-1611 and you can talk to me. Or you can also hop on our website.
Okay,
at
and that's
rebuildingtogethersf.org.
up on the screen.
Definitely.
And we have a sponsor toolbox, which is a little sponsorship information that we have on our website.
So, one by one, each of you, why this organization? Why did you get involved? What in your background has brought you here?
Let Kat start.
Okay.
Well, I have a building background. I used to do custom metalwork, and then I studied architecture as well. And so pulling those things together, I used to actually volunteer for Rebuilding Together for 3 years.
Oh, okay.
So then an opportunity came up to be on the staff, and it was just it was a perfect fit for me. So it's because community building is really where my heart is. So it was a perfect opportunity for me to combine everything together and to actually use my building experience and connect other people to be engaged, because really it's all about engagement. People are happiest when they're engaged and we're all interconnected. So that part is really fulfilling.
And I have a nonprofit background. I worked in foster care for 3 years. Went back to grad school. I did the Peace Corps thing for a little bit. Didn't make it all 2 years, but came back. I worked at the Korean Community Center of the East Bay for 3 years. And then I thought Rebuilding Together was such a great model, because not only is there community building, once again, different members of the community coming together to help each other out. I thought the funding model was really interesting to me also, because half our funding comes from corporations that fund these or sponsor these projects, which is unusual for nonprofits in terms of their funding streams. So in that way, there's community building also. So we bring the corporate world, the public sector, individual donors, and then we get to leverage that money also, because we use this volunteer model, so we don't always have to hire out labor. So we get to turn around that dollar that we receive as a donation into 1, 2, 3,
Yeah, because as we all know, the money in construction work is the labor.
Exactly.
And as far as materials, do you get discounts on materials? And who might give you a discount that you want to give a little plug for here? Who's treating you nicely?
Well, we do have some great partnerships. Cole Hardware, we work with them every year. We like to support the local economy as much as we possibly can as well.
Excellent.
So but it's true though that partnerships is how we get so much more of our work done. So Baronio Lumber gives us a little sponsorship every year, and who else? Center Hardware.
Center Hardware, Discount Builders.
Right.
Oh, discount, love it. Love it. All my stomping grounds.
And then we have a national relationship with Lowe's as well, so we can get some things from them. But it's really, the partnership model is really where we can beef up everything that we do. For like every year, the local 6 electricians get together and they go to every one of our projects and do electrical work at every one of the projects, and they use that as an opportunity to, with their trades, their training apprenticeship program, to bring people around and give them some field work, and at the same time they're doing 30 projects or so for us. So, and they go out and take a look at those projects before and assess and see how much they might be able to do and get the materials, and they donate all that, the materials, the time, and everything. So those kind of things, we're looking to get more of those kind of relationships. Like we'd love to have that kind of relationships with plumbing union or and the painting. We paint on almost every project. So the painters, decorators, that's a great resource for us as well.
Have you ever run into somebody who wanted to help that really doesn't want you there?
Yes.
Really? I don't know why I asked that, but that's amazing to me. Like, get out of my house.
It is overwhelming to have 25 volunteers show up at your house and just take over, for even if it's just for a day. So that's part of our selection process, actually. So we just had a select-a-thon this past weekend where we had a group of volunteers come, we pair them up, and we send them out to home and facility applicants. And not only do we look at the scope of work that they are wanting, but we look at the homeowners themselves and the facility reps themselves, just to see if it's a good working relationship there. And if they're ready for
the upheaval.
Exactly.
It is
totally mayhem.
Yeah, it really does, and it changes. If you've ever been in remodeling, washing dishes out of the bathtub and ordering Chinese food, it's very disrupting.
Exactly.
But you swoop in. Swoop in. That's basically you swoop in with all these people. How long does a project usually take? Is it like a week long, or is it usually a couple days?
Well, there's prep time. So we make sure that the team and the team leader get their project by the beginning of March, so that they have 2 full months to plan the project. The hope is that they go quickly to meet the homeowner, or go to the facility and meet the people who run that, and then start to plan the project. We give a scope of work that we feel like is a doable scope of work, and then we ask them to take a look and get back to us and tell us if they think they'll be able to do that. And so the conversation starts 2 months ahead of time and gives them time to plan and get to know each other a little bit, and to prioritize, because when you're going in and you only have one day, you want to make sure that you get the things that are most important done, and that you save the extras, the lagniappe, for the end, So and with a lot of volunteers coming, you often get through the whole list and more, but you just want to definitely make sure that everybody's prepared. And especially if you're helping to remove clutter or something like that, you can't really do that on the day of. There has to be some preparation. People have to have time to go through their things and decide what's staying and what's going.
Oh, that must be hard sometimes, and people don't want to let go of their clutter.
I'm telling you.
And that's something that we're seeing more and more of.
Yeah.
I think that it's actually being studied more and more. As people lose relationships, they actually try to hang on to things to fill that void in their life. So just because we're able to remove clutter, we don't necessarily do it, because some people aren't ready to let go of those things.
Do you have any counselors on staff?
We are not on staff, but we try to work with like occupational therapists, some organizers to help people to organize.
And that gives them more space in their home and a much lighter feeling when you get rid of all of that.
Exactly.
I imagine with the elderly, clutter is a big problem.
Yeah.
It is. And we ask them if they have family to bring them along. It's a family experience.
Yeah.
It's not just, oh, I'm the client, you guys are the volunteers. But yeah, we'd love to do this as a community.
Yeah, it helps to make that connection. I mean, again, we're all we can solve all of the problems that we have together. Being better connected. So, if we're trying to do a renovation at someone's home, it's great for the family to be involved and to come out and if they're not able to, then if they can just make sure that we can be there, we'll go and do whatever we can. But it really does help to have more people from the family involved.
And that's an amazing thing. I actually learned construction from my father and rebuilt 6 houses with him by my side.
Wow.
And I'm going to, Dad, we're going to volunteer. I've never felt closer to him from doing all of that, or bringing families together that are centered on something outside of themselves, something that makes it better for other families, or even to work with each other. Is amazing how it pulls you together. The people that volunteer there not only are learning things from you, I mean, they must be developing skills they haven't had, and calluses they haven't had.
Right. and paint that they never thought they'd get off.
And it must inspire them for their own homes. I mean, do you find that they go home and maybe start painting their own places?
Yeah, I think that this work does attract people who have that sense of do it yourself, but also there's opportunities for getting real help from professionals to know how to paint well and to do those things around your home.
I have a funny comment. One of my partners at the Select-a-thon last year, she said every time she goes home after visiting these families, she's like, I go home and throw stuff away. Because
it's just going to keep adding up.
Yeah.
The older you get, the more stuff you get.
Exactly.
Definitely.
What is the most rewarding part of your job?
Wow. I think the most rewarding part for me is to be able to be a part of so many relationships in the city, and to be able to help homeowners and families but also go into senior centers, neighborhood centers, and to really get a sense of how we all are sharing the city together.
I think for me, it's to place different people to be in a position to help each other and to once again connect. Honestly, we're a staff of 5, so it's not like we're out there on all 35 different projects, swinging the hammer ourselves, but ultimately we're organizers. We're organizing the community to help each other out, and I think that's a powerful role. So.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you both
very
much for what you do.
And
now to talk to you people out there, it is time for you to step up and volunteer. And this is a wonderful organization to volunteer for. They can come in for a little time, or are they set for a whole weekend, or can they come in for a day?
Sure, definitely.
And then we're always looking for home safety and independence volunteers also. That's a year-round program. So.
Yeah, handy people, come on down.
Come on down. So if you can swing a hammer and maybe want to learn, might be a good time for you to do so.